watching ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal. We are at the America East Men's Basketball Playoff Championship game from Baltimore, Maryland. We welcome you to Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena for a battle of 1 versus 2. The first time in this building's short history hosting a championship game. We are punching a ticket to the big dance today. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the SEC legend. Richard Hendricks. Not only is this a matchup of 1 and 2, it's a rematch of a regular season series, Richard, that was split 1-1.
Well, these are two strong teams that are playing their best basketball right now with a big opportunity to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Well, for UMBC, this is a team that has been here before, but never with this group. DJ Armstrong, one of a handful of transfers that has led the Retrievers this year.
Strong players at the guard position, and DJ Armstrong is a sweet shooting lefty performer who will have to have his game today.
And on the other side, this young man has already won 2 championships this year. He's the Conference Player of the Year, TJ Hurley.
A legitimate two-way player for the Catamounts. TJ Hurley can shoot with unlimited range and mix it up on the inside. He'll have to bring his game in the final.
UMBC has won 11 games in a row. That ties a program record. They've done it by an average margin of victory of 17.5. Meanwhile, Vermont has won 5 in a row. These teams have played each other 4 times in the championship since 2018, and boy, that was a memorable one. Late for UMBC, on the road, Jairus Lyles, bullseye to win the game and send UMBC to their second NCAA tournament appearance in program history. Of course, they would later take down #1 seed Virginia in the big dance. Vermont has been here plenty of times before. In fact, they're seeking their 11th appearance as a program in the NCAA tournament. And as we mentioned, TJ Hurley has already been twice. Now as a senior, trying to get back for the 3rd time under legendary head coach John Becker. On the other side, this UMBC team brought in 10 new players, Richard. Many of them from the Division II level. Their starting 5 features 4 all-conference players under 5th-year head coach Jim Ferry.
Both of these squads are balanced and confident teams. They move the ball extremely well around and try to find an efficient shot where their advantages lie.
This is the most played America East championship matchup in conference history. Vermont has played for a title 8 times over the last 10 years, but have never done it over that stretch on the road. In fact, this is their first road playoff game since 2016, and UMBC, for just the 3rd time in program history, is the 1 seed in the America East playoffs, trying to make their 3rd trip to the big dance. Our officials, Tim Smith, the Silly Malios, Mike Fleury. UMBC in the home white, Vermont in the road black. And the peak is jumping this morning for an early tip.
This is going to be a really good atmosphere for 2 teams that'll be battling to make it to the NCAA tournament. Split the season series. Here they are again, duking it out.
As we mentioned, UMBC has won 11 games in a row. Their last loss to the University of Vermont all the way back on January 29th. A ticket to the big dance on the line. Here we go from Baltimore, and UMBC controls the tip.
See, both of these teams will do a really good job of moving the ball from side to side to get a quality shot in their half-court set. Vermont will play solid defense, not really disruptive, but try to keep you out of the paint.
Valentine with 5 to shoot, took the bump on the baseline, and a foul was called. And a Vermont player down gripping his knee. I believe that is Noah Barnett. Now, John Becker, the winningest coach in UVM's rich basketball history. He's the 7-time conference coach of the year, but right now concerned about his big man, the 6'9" redshirt sophomore Noah Barnett. For a team that has dealt with injuries throughout the course of this season. he was the one who took the contact from Valentine right here.
And you can see a lot of traffic there as he potentially banged knees, but good to see him tries to get up off the deck and walk it off with some assistance. Massive game of this magnitude. We have to see if he can get back into action, as he'll be a big piece of what Vermont tries to do.
We will keep you posted on Barnett's status throughout the remainder of this first half. Meanwhile, Valentine goes to the line for 2 shots. And boy, has he been a catalyst for this team's recent success, Richard. During their 11-game win streak, he leads the team in scoring, assists, and steals.
Well, he's a physical player, and he's a strong downhill driver. And when he gets into the paint, he initiates that contact. A big reason why he's on the line right now shooting for 2.
There is Hurley, the conference player of the year, trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd time as a player for the Catamounts, and he banks in his first shot.
TJ Hurley's always playing on balance. Does a really good job in that screen roll action to find where he had the ability to rise up in the mid-range off the glass.
A 2-2 start in Baltimore. Valentine with 10 to shoot. Thought about a step back, gives it up to King. First team all-conference guard with 3 to go. Great defense by the Catamounts.
Vermont doing a really good job of being active in the gaps. Jim Ferry trying to give some instruction to his UMBC team early on of how to figure out how to find some advantages against this tough Catamount defense.
When they beat Vermont in this building in late February, they were able to get a lot of unbalanced looks offensively. Richard, not going up against the set defense of Vermont. I feel like that's going to be a key throughout the morning and late afternoon here in Baltimore.
UMBC is 2nd in the American East when it comes to creating points off of turnovers. But Vermont is not a team that will turn it over easily. They will try to make sure to make the Retrievers set up and play in the half-court set.
King defended by Marie. Fall-away jumper won't go. Rebound cleared away by the sophomore starting point guard, Sean Blake. Inside, Yeldon banks it in.
That's a beautiful job right there. You get a good defensive stop, and Sean Blake coming down in transition with the no-look pass in the dime in the paint.
Yeldon having a career year in his first season at Vermont. Armstrong again late in the timer. So many of these early possessions have come down to the final 5 seconds. And again an errant shot for UMBC.
Vermont plays at the slowest pace in conference play in the American East. They're going to make sure to make you earn it every single possession and then go deep down low as you see Yeldon taking it to the paint.
Great patience by Yeldon, understanding the mismatch against the 6'2 guard King.
Well, he has a great feel for the game. He gets you on his hip and he can spin over both shoulders, and there he is finding the angle to get all the way for the easy deuce.
Had 17 points, 12 boards in one of the games against UMBC earlier this year. King, 3, way off the mark.
A couple of missed shots from both teams on the outside, but check out Blake here coming down in transition. He looks off to the other side, and there he is diming Yeldon right there, who runs down the groove for the easy 2 points.
Wonder how much nerves are playing a factor in this slow start for UMBC. 5 Division II transfers, 10 new players. Nobody on the roster has been here before.
Talented players that understand how to compete. And there you can see a little bit of finesse there by Yeldon, but not able to finish it with the extension over the top by Tanchen.
That was a great matchup over the first 2 games of the regular season, and a foul on a 3-point shooter by Marie will send Armstrong to the line for 3 shots. The only offense so far through the first near 4 minutes of this game for UMBC has come at the free throw line.
It's going to be a challenge for UMBC to manufacture some offense at the pace in which this game is played. They're going to have to figure out a way to be a little bit more disruptive on the defensive end to see if they can get some easy buckets in transition to speed up the flow of the game against the Catamounts. Early on, Vermont doing a really good job of controlling tempo in this game and finding quality shots.
Open three, Yalden off the backboard. Valentine home run pass, nearly picked by Long, and he saved it to Hurley.
Errant shots from three-point land for both of these teams.
Long trailing. Lefty pull up, rims down. TJ Long has been a revelation off the bench over the last 12 games. Prior to that, he was a starter.
He's a confident player. He comes in right off the bench, locked and loaded, and gives them a dimension of a first option when he checks into the game.
Like TJ Hurley, he too has won a championship and gone to the big dance with the Catamounts. Deep three, Valentine. And again, Blake slowing the pace for Vermont. This is how they like to operate. Extra pass, corner three. Rebound, Yalden. Hurley tries. And now Valentine on the break. Pitch back, King.
Really good job by Vermont getting back and slowing down the transition break when UMBC had numbers.
Tension left open. That's a three.
That's a big shot right there by Jose Tanchen. He's a big man who can step out beyond range when he gets his feet set and knock it down in a big three when they needed it most.
He has started 16 of the last 17 games. They are 13-2 with him in the starting lineup. Has been excellent over the second half of the season for UMBC. Marie takes it to the cup and draws a whistle. 1 point lead for Vermont. We are punching a ticket to the big dance today in Baltimore. These two teams have played 4 times for a conference championship since 2018. Vermont getting the better of UMBC twice over that stretch. But of course, as we showed you in the open, that 2018 UMBC team that went on the road, took down #1 Vermont to go to the big dance, and then did something historic, Richard, beating the first #1 seed as a 16 in March Madness history.
Massive win that people will remember forever. A top seed going down at the hands of UMBC. Here they are now on their home court trying to see if they can find their way back to the big dance. But a tough Vermont team. And head coach Jim Ferry knows exactly that this opposition should be counted on.
Lucas Marie at the line for Vermont after a shooting foul before our last commercial break. Meanwhile, if you're just joining us, Vermont, without their big man Noah Barnett, was hurt on the opening play of the game. We have not seen him return yet. We will keep you posted on his status as we learn more. Bit of a disjointed open for UMBC offensively. Most of their offense has come at the foul line.
Well, the defensive game plan of Vermont doing a really good job holding UMBC to 16% shooting so far. Only 1 field goal as Tanchen was able to knock down a 3-pointer.
Line change here for Jim Ferry. A couple of new faces. And it leads to a 3 for DJ Armstrong Jr. First lead of the game for the Retrievers.
We talked about he had a sweet stroke. And you give him a peek, he's able to shoot it with unlimited range, and that's a big bucket for Armstrong Jr.
And good to see Noah Barnett now back into the game for Vermont. He's wearing a sleeve over his left leg. Momo Kugwa Eyeing the shot clock with 5. Trying to slip it past Riley. Jacobs could not. Valentine baseline, well defended by Kugwa.
Big job by Kugwa coming over in rotation with the rejection.
Baseline drive, Hurley. Conference Player of the Year, fouled by King. Coming over with the help side defense.
TJ Hurley did a really good job of being decisive as soon as he caught that ball in the corner. That quick rip through created the separation he needed to get the advantage. Drawing the foul, going to the line and shooting for 2.
4th leading scorer in the conference, 16.5 points per game during league play. Had 18 points, 7 boards in the win against UMBC. In the loss here in this building in late February, Richard, the Retrievers held him to one of his least productive games of the year. You got to think stopping the Conference Player of the Year, a big part of UMBC's game plan today.
He's got to be at the top of the scouting report alongside with Yalden. That inside-outside attack will be important for Vermont. But this is a team that plays a complementary style with a balanced offense. And they'll make sure to move around and find the best quality shot, and 2 missed free throws by Hurley.
An 89% free throw shooter, 2nd best in the conference, missed them both. Jacobs threw it away. They go back to Vermont.
That's a really good job defensively. TJ Hurley doing a good job fronting in the low post. And when the ball touches the post, they've been showing some double teams to try to get them out of sorts. And that time it results in a turnover. Ball back to the Catamounts.
Seen better defense from UMBC over this recent stretch. Holding Vermont to 1 for their last 6 from the floor. There's Barnett, defended by Jacobs. And got a late whistle. Back to the line go the Catamounts.
The post players of Vermont do a really good job of understanding angles. You see Noah Barnett that time. He gets the feel of the defender on his back, and he rolls right off him to the baseline. Great job. The fundamentals goes to the line.
Well, the free throw shooting for Vermont has been abysmal to start. They're 1 for 5, and they are facing not just this UMBC team, but the student section right behind the goal that they're shooting on currently.
The question will be, as they will change side in the second half, will the student section have any type of impact in late game free throws? In these type of moments, the little things are massive in a championship game.
UMBC student section has gone viral a couple of times this year for their antics when opponents are at the foul line. Tied at 10, 12 minutes to go in the opening half. Armstrong sizing up Barnett. 3 to shoot. Downing, deep 3. Tension, fighting for the offensive board. Second opportunity for the Retrievers. Another 3, Armstrong rattles out. A 3rd chance for UMBC. Here's the 6th man of the year, Diggs. And he pays it off by drawing 2 shots. He will go to the line when we return. The doghouse pumped up in Baltimore. Well, later on today, the semifinals of the SEC tournament will be aired on ESPN. 1 Eastern, number 1 Florida, who's won 12 in a row, taking on Vanderbilt. But perhaps the darlings of Champ Week, regardless of conference, 15 seed Ole Miss, who's won 3 games in 3 days, will try to do it again against Arkansas. Meanwhile, in this game, Jim Ferry's team has been very connected defensively, Richard, over the last few minutes. Vermont started the game 3 for 4. They've since gone 1 for 6 from the floor.
They made some adjustments to make it a little bit more difficult for Vermont, particularly when it comes to challenging at the rim. That has allowed them to get out and run and pick up the pace of play. But on the offensive end, strong physical drives to the basket have allowed UMBC to get to the free throw line, which has been a little bit of the difference for them offensively.
Certainly that was the difference in their victory against Vermont. Just a few weeks ago in late February, they were plus 12 at the line in that game. Diggs misses them both. Good pass from Blake inside to Barnett. His first point since exiting the game with an apparent knee injury.
Sean Blake has done a tremendous job. He runs the show for this team. And when he comes up that screen roll action, his look-offs to the corner created that easy basket for Barnett. This is where UMBC's got to get a little bit more motion in their offense. They're looking a little stagnant.
Diggs, nice pull up on the baseline for the 6th man of the year in the America East.
Diggs has the scoring ability to shoot over the top with that extension, and there you see him in the mid-range, the elevation over the top from the baseline.
Blake slipping through the double team and a push shot good in the paint.
Sean Blake reading the game tremendously well. He's been facilitating for others. That time he calls his own number and takes it all the way with the baby hook in the paint.
He's had a major sophomore leap after he came off the bench exclusively last year. First year starting point guard for the Catamounts. To shoot for Downing, stripped by Long, and back the other way comes Vermont. Fourth retrievers turnover for a team that averaged less than 8 per game in league play. Long deep three, knocks it in from the top of the key.
TJ Long, as he was able to get that ball, they seemed a little out of sorts. He called his own number and stroked it and right back to you. Brings it in, Downing from downtown.
And a timeout on the floor. We'll be back in 30 seconds. 2-point game for the America East Championship.
Sean Blake, a magician in the screen roll action. Look at his eyes. He looks off to the corner, and then he throws a dime to 34, Noah Barnett, for the easy layup. It's the beautiful job of manipulating the screen roll set. And there you see TJ Long shooting one from deep. Both of these teams starting to settle down offensively, doing a really good job of moving and executing their offense, trying to find a quality look, and then capitalizing with finishing shots.
Catamounts shooting 54% from the floor to start. Open three, Yalding. Here's King, thought about a three, defended by Hurley. Back out Valentine. Tough start to this game for Valentine from the floor. Still 0 for 2. 0 for 3 rather.
The challenge for UMBC is all of their shots have been contested, shooting over the top. You're going to have to get a little bit of off-ball movement to see if you can get freed up to get a clean look.
King off the bounce. Set back by Barnett. It'll stay here with 22 to shoot.
Once again, the defense of the Catamounts funneling things to the paint, helping, and being active hands. Noah Barnett back into the game after an earlier injury, but there you see he's impactful defensively.
TJ Long, good start for Vermont. A young man who has been a prolific scorer throughout his career. And started today as such. Was last touched by Vermont. So again, underneath for UMBC, this time with 10 to shoot.
Baseline out of bounds opportunities will be huge in a championship game. You'll have to make sure to screen well and execute to get a good look.
contested jumpers for UMBC in this first half.
They're capable of making it. It's a team that has a lot of shot makers, but in this type of game, they're going to have to be earned. They're all going to start with your off-ball movement and your screening to get a quality look.
Marie. Vermont 1 for 7 from 3. Yalden draws a foul. It'll be the Catamounts ball when we return. Still a 2-point edge on the road. Welcome back to UMBC. That is what these two teams are playing for, the conference championship trophy and a ticket to the big dance. UMBC has won 11 games in a row, including their 2 playoff games prior to the championship today. They won those 2 by an average margin of victory of 18.5 points. Vermont, on the other hand, has had to grind out a couple of victories. It's not something they're unfamiliar with, Richard. This team has had, in the words of John Becker, an up and down season, but they seem to have found something over the last month since their last loss, which was in this building on February 19th.
Starting to play really good ball, and these players are accepting their roles on this team. A lot of pressure when you play at a program that is so used to winning conference championships and being a part of the NCAA tournament. But they're comfortable playing connected basketball right now, and a slower complementary style plays into their advantage.
Hurley, pull-up 3. There's some irony in calling a 22-win season an up-and-down year. They've won 20 games or more in 17 consecutive seasons if you draw out the COVID year. Meanwhile, a left-hand runner good for Valentine, his first field goal.
Valentine, a crafty driver, and that time right there, as opposed to using strength, he uses finesse with that left hand and the extension.
Hurley almost walked with it. Got it up to Kugwa. Marie. Hurley, sidestep 3. Tap out from Barnett. Here comes King.
UMBC has picked up the defensive effort. Much more spirited.
And Diggs draws a foul. That is where they're at their best. In transition, not against a set defense.
Well, they got the numbers, and you see the numbers created right there by Valentine with that beautiful drive to the basket. Ties the game up. You see in all of these actions, they've been putting a lot of men on the ball to speed up Vermont.
And the free throw shooting between these two teams has been lesser than the standard. UMBC 4 for 8. Vermont 2 for 6. Both teams in the top 3 in the conference in free throw percentage.
UMBC conference play #1 overall. Struggling, uncharacteristic to them, as they're usually efficient offensively in all facets of the game. But it's the defensive end that you've started to see a little bit of adjustments being made. A lot of pressure on the ball screen actions, trying to trap and get the Catamounts to speed up their pace of play.
Good pass down to Hurley, slipping, found by the big man, Yalden.
And that's beautiful recognition right there by Vermont. As they understand the pressure defense was starting to disrupt them, and that's where you dime a back door. Great pass by Yalden.
And Yalden forcing an errant shot by Adunalo, who has really not been featured in the offense so far today. That was his first field goal attempt.
This is where the patience of this Catamount offense works against the defensive pressure. You utilize your backdoor cuts when you come together with screens and you get quality looks.
Yalden with the right hand.
That's a beautiful move right there. He sets him up, gets all the way down on that left block, and goes straight to the middle. Great job by Gus Yalden.
Tanchin, long left hand over the top of Marie.
Jose Tanchin has done some good things in this game. This kid's from the Andalusia region in southern Spain. He knows how to play the game. Doing a really good job of reading it right now.
Long tries a 3, rims out. Yalden offensive board, put back rolls down, and Yalden With a game-high 8 points to go along with 4 rebounds.
Great job of positioning when it comes to that offensive rebound and enough strength to get that one over the rim.
Valentine spin cycle, falling to the hardwood, puts it in for 2.
Now, this game started off with both teams making defensive stops, but the offense is starting to settle down as these two teams are figuring out how they can get some easy buckets in the half-court set.
UMBC started out shooting 16% for the floor. They're now up to 34%. On a little bit more rhythm offensively. Marie tries a deep 3. And still the Catamounts with just the 1 triple. Now 1 for 11 from beyond the arc.
Team is capable of knocking it down, but if I'm Vermont, I'm going to continue to see if I can pound it into paint and create from the inside outside.
Tension. Floater this time won't go. Rebound to Dunawo, but he stepped on the baseline.
Vermont has a big man that knows how to play the game. Look at his head up as he's able to see as they get that backdoor cut and dimes it right there to Hurley. And then he gets the ball on the low block. That physicality, he's a load in the paint. Understands how to use angles and leverage to get the easy bucket. Being impactful will now take a seat. You'll have to look and see if Vermont will change things up and go a little bit more screen roll. Utilizing Noah Barnett in the 2-man game.
Cross-court pass. Here's Johnson baseline. Now Blake. Long stepped out of bounds on the reload. 1-point game. Trip to the big dance on the line. A rematch of a regular season series that was tight.
Line starting with you guys today.
Thank you, Zubin. Tom, you're absolutely right. I mean, this team, when they've been successful all year, but in this game, Richard, they've done it in the paint. 14 of their 23 points have come in the painted area today.
Not knocking down the outside shot, 1 for 11, but that's going to happen if you play from the inside out. You get the team in rotation, you get quality looks, and you can get an opportunity to knock it down.
King tries a deep 3. And Marie with a rebound. 1-point game, less than 3.5 minutes to go in the opening half. Sean Blake had it picked off. Ball on the deck. Diggs comes away with it. Here comes Armstrong. And he resets to Valentine.
Malachi King has struggled to get himself going in this game. He shot some tough shots that have been contested.
Oh, Armstrong, a tough shot that was contested. Counted in the foul.
And that's the recipe if you're UMBC. The driving lanes are open as Vermont's trying to run you off the 3-point line. And that extra seal right there allows Armstrong Jr. to get all the way to the basket. That's a screen assist right there by Riley Jacobs to help his teammate Armstrong Jr. to get all the way to the cup.
DJ Armstrong Jr. leads all retriever scores with 8 points. One of 5 Division II transfers that Jim Ferry brought in this year. Pretty remarkable when you think about the season that they've had, the 11-game win streak, 3rd longest active streak in the country behind High Point and Florida. And they've done it largely with guys that played at the Division II level last year.
I think people are finding out that there's a lot of quality from the players on lower levels, particularly even in the Division II ranks.
Long relocates. 3 is good. He has been the lone weapon outside, at least so far in this game for the Catamounts.
When we talk about that inside-out basketball, and Yalden checks back into the game, they give him a touch on the low block. They have to double. Long, the recipient of another 3 ball for Vermont.
Armstrong responds with a 3. UMBC leads.
That's a really good job of recognizing that Yalden's in drop coverage. You use his man in that screen roll set, and you got a defender sitting back in the paint. Armstrong Jr. rises up from deep.
The lone scorer in double figures to this point in the game. Here's a touch for Yalden. Felt the double, spins away from it and banks it in. He now has 10.
That's beautiful work. Now, if I'm UMBC, I'm coming right back, putting Riley Jacobs in the screen roll action and see if Yalden can move his feet and see what you find your advantage. If Valentine has the switch, you got to give him the ball now.
Trying to get it down to Jacobs, defended by the much smaller Sean Blake. Instead, it goes the other way. Here's King. To Diggs. 5 to shoot. Diggs took the bump, couldn't get it to drop.
Well, the Retrievers had what they wanted on that last set. But that's one, if you're Riley Jacobs, you got to get out of the way and allow Valentine to take Yalden one-on-one.
This is the second time in the first half that Long has caught the ball on the wing and stepped out of bounds. It's going back to UMBC.
Using that pump fake and he should drive, but there's the pump fake and it was effective. Gives them a little bit of room. There you see DJ Armstrong Jr. shooting that 3-ball as Vermont sitting back in drop coverage.
In the words of his head coach, Jim Ferry, he's never had a bad day. One of the leaders on this team with so many new faces.
Well, he's comprised his roster of high-character players, and DJ Armstrong Jr. is definitely that. Now, for Vermont, they've made the substitution Yalden out of the game. Makes it a little bit difficult on the defensive end.
And Diggs traveled.
Offensively, rather. As now you have a little bit more foot speed. And you can see the strategy early on. John Becker electing to go offense to defense, putting Yalden back in the game on the offensive set. And using Skipper Jackson defensively in the first half. Veteran coach understands all the tricks, understands his roster. He has a weapon with Gus Yalden offensively. And they've been able to take advantage of him being fatigued a little and using his foot speed defensively. And he can go to work on this end of the court.
Defended by Tanchin. Again a double team. Yalden got it up and missed. Diggs out to King. Almost lost it. And now resets and calls timeout. We will be right back after this. Final 30 ticks of the first half in Baltimore. Back in Baltimore, big crowd at the Peak, which seats about 6,000, opened back in 2018. Ironically, first game in this building for UMBC was against Vermont. And today they are hosting their first America East Playoff Championship game in front of a packed house. Retrievers as the 1 seed, Vermont as the 2. And UMBC trying to get back to the big dance for the first time since 2018.
It'll be a challenge, and more than anything, coming after that timeout called by Jim Ferry. This allowed John Becker to make the offense-to-defense substitution and put in a different coverage defensively.
6-second differential between game and shot clock. 5 to go for Armstrong. Trying to spin away from Marie. Tough fadeaway, and he beats the horn. 5 seconds. Clock winding down. Here's Hurley from half court. What a close to the first half for DJ Armstrong Jr. Led all scores with 13 points, in UMBC, who trailed early, carries a 2-point lead into the break. Zubin, take it away.
Here we go. The Sargento halftime report is underway. Tom Crean, Kevin Keats, Zubin Mehenti. Those teams have already slapped the decals. They're celebrating 11 more programs. Will have the feeling of a lifetime tonight and clinch their bid. The first one comes here in the America East, and you know it's a long, great day of basketball when you have a rare morning tip-off. Welcome inside with a pair of guys that have gone to the Final Four. I'm Zubin Mehenti. First half thoughts here. I'm a little disoriented. Normally this game is in Burlington year after year after year, but right now the Catamounts are on the road and they are down by 2. What are we seeing?
Well, 11 a.m. basketball. You got to love it. You know, I love what UMBC is doing with DJ Armstrong. DJ Armstrong. They're doing a great job of putting Gus Yalden in ball screens And that's the way to score. This game will be a chess match. They'll go back and forth. Will Vermont get the ball inside? Will they attack? Will they do a good job if UMBC making sure that you attack their ball screen coverage? And it's going to come down to whoever can make stops at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're miscalculating Gus Yalden's quickness, though, man. He's like Gronk. All right, he's like a tight end. You put him out there. No, he's got to be better there. He's up too high.
Yeah.
He's standing up too high when they attack him. But offensively, you got to keep going through Gus Yalden. He is such a good passer. Signed with Wisconsin. He's been at Vermont now with John Becker for a while. He can make passes. Think Robbie Avila at St. Louis. That's what I'm seeing with Gus Yalden.
All right.
Keep getting it to Gus.
Well, you got to go with the Gronk reference, New England reference. We are talking about Vermont after all. All right, so the big question for Lunardi, we talked about this when we joined you late in the first half. He's got one pressing question Joe's got, and that is who can grab that last number 1 seed. Guys, let's run through it. Kev, you think the odds-on favorite is UConn?
Well, no doubt. It's got to be UConn. If you think about this, they got a huge game tonight against St. John's. If they were to win that game, it's going to be a battle. I think that they should go number 1. You think about them beating Florida early in the year. This is a team that deserves a number 1.
Houston, for you.
I had an epiphany in the middle of the night. I said, I've liked Florida all along. But if Houston beats the number 1 team in my mind in the country in Arizona tonight, they deserve it. You've got the 3 guards, Kingston Flemings, Emmanuel Sharp, Miles Uzan. They got to be good defensive. They got to make jump shots tonight to beat Arizona.
Here's the case for Florida. They haven't lost to anyone since January 24th. They have not lost to anyone in February and most importantly in March as they try to go back to back, and they'll be on the SEC semifinals later today as you take a look at Lunardi's last 4 in, first 4 out. A critical loss last night for Oklahoma late against Coach Cal in Arkansas. Had Oklahoma won that game, Lunardi would have snuck them into the last 4 in, but instead they're on the outside looking in. We're back to look into a gigantic Big 12 championship next.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese. Back to the Sargento halftime report.
Vermont going to the NCAA tournament. Alley-oop. Oh, and it worked out to Washington.
Trying to do it himself. He does.
Surviving and advancing. Expect the unexpected in March.
CNC Music Factory still getting those royalties more than 20 years later after that great song. And speaking
you
of
play
royalty,
it every other day in here. I mean, we hear those songs. Michael Jackson. How long was that being played yesterday?
No doubt about it. Speaking of royalties, who will be the king of the Big 12 tonight? Houston, Arizona, 6 p.m. Eastern over on ESPN. Let's break down this incredible matchup. I don't know how it could top semifinal number 1 yesterday. You are all over the Cats who won in dramatic fashion.
Love their backcourt. When you look at their backcourt, they're tremendous. You talk about Braden Barrios, who is a big-time guard. They do a good job. They block shots. They get out and run. Barrios is such a downhill driver, athletic and can finish. And then how can we not mention Jaden Bradley? What a big-time play. He's a player of the year in the conference. And what? Game winner. Bucket.
Tom, Houston's guards is really where you want to go. Remember, the regular season matchup was played in Houston at the Fertitta Center, one of the toughest places to play in the country. Arizona didn't lead wire to wire, but mostly from start to finish in a 73-66 win.
Well, this 3-guard lineup that you have in Houston with freshman Kingston Fleming, senior Emmanuel Sharp, and senior Milos Uzan, in that game against Arizona and the 66 points the team scored, they combined for 40. That won't get it done tonight. And I think because of the inside play, the rim protection that you have in Arizona, you're going to get to the break or get to the rim on the break. But you're going to have to make threes, make outside shots. I think this trio's got to make at least 10 threes to beat Arizona tonight.
That's the number to watch. Coach Keats told you how impressive Armstrong has been. Evidence right there. We're back to set you up for one of the biggest selection Sundays ever and how to watch all day on ESPN next.
Welcome back to ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal. Just down the road from the Baltimore Harbor, we welcome you back to the America East Basketball Playoff Championship game, pitting 1 seed UMBC, 2 seed Vermont. It is a 2-point game at the half as we welcome you back courtside at the Peak. Matt Schumacher, the SEC legend, Richard Hendricks. Tightly played first half. Let's spin it forward. What does it take for these two teams to get a win here over the final 20 minutes?
Well, if I'm Vermont, I'm going to continue to ride Gus Yalden. This guy has been getting it done inside when he creates offense for himself, for others. But on the flip side, if you're UMBC, bring Gus Yalden into the ball screen action, make him play defense, and speed up the game.
You bring up Gus Yalden. Certainly he was a bright spot for Vermont's offense in the first half. When they were at their best, Richard, they were getting him touches in the paint.
Well, he's done a magnificent job of reading the game. His feel down low does a really good job of getting easy buckets. He can pass from the high post when cutters move. Continue to give it to the big man and let him facilitate and ride him and play inside-out basketball.
He had 10 first half points on 5 of 10 shooting. Vermont uncharacteristically did not shoot well from 3. They were just 2 for 13. TJ Long made both of those. This year they're a 34% three-point shooting team in league play. On the flip side, UMBC trailed for most of the first half. Closed strong thanks to the play of DJ Armstrong Jr.
Now the tempo and tone of this game has favored Vermont. They've done a really good job of making UMBC guard them for long possessions and playing solid defense. You have to speed things up if you're the Retrievers.
Here's Yalden. Dumps it down to Barnett. Back out Blake 3. Way off the mark. Didn't even draw iron. Home run pass from Valentine. And tension at the top of the key.
They got the mismatch with Jalakai King guarded by Yalden. Get the ball to number 4 in White.
He was 0 for 5 in the first half. Their leading scorer tries a 3. And off the mark. TJ Hurley with the basketball, the conference player of the year. Just 2 for 6 shooting in the opening half. Be interesting to see if these teams' top scorers settle into a rhythm in the second half. Yalden had it picked. Valentine breakaway. Cannot lay it in. King was there for the putback. They won't count it. The foul first will send Valentine to the line.
Good job by Ace Valentine. He got a bead on that one and came up with the steal. An easy opportunity that he wishes that he would have thrown down with authority with a dunk, but nonetheless draws the foul, going to the line shooting for 2.
Champ Week rolls on tonight, 6 Eastern over on ESPN with the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship game, a rematch of last year, Arizona and Houston. And then at 8:30 Eastern, we'll have the ACC Tournament Championship. Duke trying to win it in back-to-back years, taking on a Virginia team that has not won it since 2018, the same year that they lost as the #1 seed of the NCAA tournament to a 16-seed UMBC Retrievers.
A massive opportunity for Virginia as John Shire's Duke Blue Devils are a little hobbled by injury.
Retrievers trying to get back to the big dance for the first time since that magical run in 2018 when they became the first 16 seed ever to take down a 1. Hurley, good on the pull-up.
That's a tough shot right there that TJ Hurley makes look easy. Really good job utilizing that step-back dribble to create space.
Armstrong with the basketball, led all scorers in the first half with 13. Big reason why UMBC was able to overcome an early deficit. 5 to shoot for Valentine. Deep step back 3. Good rebound effort underneath. Odunawo kicks it back out. Armstrong, yes, from downtown.
Odunawo doing big time work on that offensive rebound, and the best time to shoot it, DJ Armstrong Jr. from deep range.
Largest lead of the game for the Retrievers at 5. Hurley, baseline, weaves it into Johnson. Walled off, shuffle, Barnett, no, with the back shot won't go. Kick out Hurley, 3. And the rebound, Tanchin.
A little bit of juice in the building, and the Retrievers are getting out and running in transition.
This is where they have been at their best this year. Transition offense, using their athleticism and multifaceted offensive weapons, and Valentine draws another 2-shot foul.
That's really good recognition right there by Ace Valentine. He gets that screen roll switch, but it's the effort here on the offensive rebounding. Gets it and kicks it out. DJ Armstrong Jr. with unlimited range knocks down a big 3 ball for UMBC.
Valentine, as we mentioned in the first half, has been a catalyst for UMBC's 11-game win streak. He leads the team in scoring, assists, and steals during a win streak that ties the longest in program history.
Well, just an aggressive driver, and you've been able to see his anticipation on the defensive end, getting some easy steals, have created some offense. And the building is starting to pick up with this home court advantage that UMBC has here in the final.
TJ Long back into the game off the bench for Vermont. Here he is. An elite scorer throughout his career, and a fadeaway push shot sending him to the floor, puts it down.
Wow, that was a tough shot right there by TJ Long. And just the one that they needed to stop the bleeding as UMBC was on a surge.
Tanchin backing down Barnett, and the right-hand floater good.
The Spaniard with some really good technical moves. Jose Tanchin taking his time when he gets that ball in the mid-post. And the beautiful hook shot, nothing but net.
Early walled off on the baseline, 10 to shoot. Here's Long. Heaves a 3. Did not draw iron. Yalden was there. And he is bailed out by a foul. The Seton Hall transfer. We'll get 2 shots when we return from Baltimore.
Well, UMBC's Jose Tanchin, a very skilled and technical player that gets it done in many ways. And a lot of the reason he has that type of fundamental skill set is because he got his start playing in the youth organization of Unicaja Malaga in Malaga, Spain, a very respected club in the ACB First Division in Spain as a young player, a club in which that I played with many years ago and had a lot of success.
Look at that young Richard Hendricks. Lean, buff, taking it to the cup.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you, had a good conversation talking with Jose. And he's from a southern region in Spain called Andalusia. It's a beautiful area up against the Sierra Nevada mountains and the Mediterranean coast. He's been impactful here in his time here at UMBC and making a lot of noise in this game today.
6-point lead for UMBC, less than 16 minutes to go. Winner punches a ticket to the big dance, where UMBC has been just twice before. Vermont has been the gold standard in this league, playing for their 8th championship in the last 10 years. They've won 5 over that stretch. Adunawo, really tough move in the paint for 2.
That's good activity right there by Josh Adunawo. Muscled that one home after that pivot move. You can get some offensive production from him, who normally does his work on the defensive end. That'll be huge for the Retrievers.
Long got his own miss, banks it down. He has won a championship previously at Vermont.
Well, these offensive rebounding opportunities for the Catamounts are starting to really help out. Josh Adunawo, he's been active on the offensive rebounding. And look at him keeping that pivot foot down and getting back over that left shoulder, and enough strength to muscle that one home.
Well, after the last whistle on a ball out of bounds, the Vermont players all looked to John Becker, asking him to challenge the call on the floor. They took a peek at the iPad, and now we do have the first challenge of the game.
It's an opportunity for both of these teams to huddle up and be able to discuss some changes, as you can anticipate that the adjustments will be made. A little under 15 minutes to go in this championship game. It's the little details that will matter from here on out.
Here's another look at that last play. Call on the floor was last touched by Vermont. And right away, you see Noah Barnett, number 34 in black, pointing that the ball was off Tanchin. Looked right to his bench. And John Becker with the coach's challenge. It certainly looks from that angle like it was Tanchin to last touch it.
Yeah. And he just lost it. Just lost it. And it never even touched it all by any Vermont player. And that's one where Tanchin's got to palm that ball and have a little bit of extension away from the defense. Try to get that one up off the glass.
It's a big call in a tight game. If Vermont gets the call overturned, they keep a timeout and they get the additional coach's challenge down the stretch.
An opportunity to get the ball to make this a one-possession game with a made three-point basket. It does look like Barnett was able to get a fingertip on that one and knock it off of the knee of Tanchin.
Here's our officiating crew. Tim Smith, Vasily Malios, Mike Fleury have come to a decision. The other piece of this is the timing. Currently 14:58 on the clock. Vermont led early in this game for most of the first half. In fact, they led for over 11.5 minutes. Largest lead came in the first half for Vermont at 5. UMBC closed the first half hot. DJ Armstrong a big part of that. They have not relinquished the lead since the start of the second half. Oh, that was really tight with Barnett reaching his hand in there. But the challenge was successful. So John Becker gets it right and the ball returns to Vermont.
After review, the challenge was successful. It'll be Vermont basketball on the baseline. They retain their challenge and their timeout.
In a championship game, every single possession matters, and it's important not only for the players, but for these head coaches and their staffs to be dialed in potential reviews. Challenges on the line, you have to make quick decisions about what you're going to do, and you have to be sure that you're going to make a decision that you don't lose that challenge moving forward. A successful try right there, and the ball back to the Catamounts.
Marie tries a corner three. He is still 0 from downtown, and it's corralled by Tanchin.
Marie cannot find a touch. He might want to utilize his pump fake, get to the paint. Jolicoeur team struggling to get anything done. This is a player that's first team All-America East Conference performer. Hasn't been able to contribute offensively in this game.
And yet, what has been the strength of this team during their 11-game win streak has come through again today. The depth of their scoring is King drew a lot of contact. Everybody up off the UMBC bench wanting a foul. They won't get it, but there was a turnover on Vermont, giving it right back to the Retrievers.
Yeah, that was a lot of contact there on that drive by King. Questionable to not to have the foul call, but nonetheless for UMBC, get the travel being called, the ball back to the Retrievers on the baseline out of bounds.
Fifth turnover on John Becker's Vermont Catamounts. You can see how the 15-year veteran head coach feels about it. He's won so many games at this program. And a whistle will stop play in the paint. Foul on Barnett. And that is number 3 on the Vermont big man.
Concha initiating a lot of that physicality, but Barnett using 2 hands in the lower back gets called for the foul. That's where you got to use a little bit more extension in an arm bar with one arm. And have active hands with the other.
5 to shoot for Valentine. Step back 3. And a whistle will go against Tanchin. And the ball back to Vermont.
Tanchin trying to battle for an offensive rebound, but a really good job by Sean Blake, who has the size disadvantage of using his technique to box out the much bigger Tanchin. Substitution back in with Yalden coming into the game. You have to look to see if they will involve him offensively.
As they did early in the game when Vermont built a 4-point lead. +8 in the paint early in the game. Yalden a big factor. Sean Blake.
That's a great job. They go right into Gus Yalden down low, and he kicks it out. But then the drive by Blake was created the layup because of Yalden's deep seal.
Armstrong was 16. Weaving through the paint, gives it up. Tanchin bumped by Yalden. And the 14th foul on Vermont.
There you see UMBC executing a little bit in the game plan. You get Gus Yalden checking back into the game, who's making his impact more so on the offensive end, but defensively he's got to get down in a stance and anticipate that drive, move your feet. Championship level game, it's the time that you have to make sure that you can guard in each possession.
Caden Diggs, 6th man of the year in the conference. Gives it up to his point guard, Valentine, out downing a 3. Cans it from the left wing.
Great job once again. Using that dribble drive and getting him a piece of the paint, kicking it out, and Downing's knocking one down.
Second 3 of the game for the Eastern New Mexico transfer, and a turnover. Up ahead to Diggs. Three from Tanchin. Rebound Marie. Catamounts running.
This is where Vermont wants to settle down and run some offense.
And instead, a turnover.
And the dribble drive and getting a piece of the paint. And kick it out and got number 21 in white. Downing locked and loaded. He knocks it down. A big 3 for UMBC.
Four second-half turnovers for Vermont. Downing off with the deep 3. Marie running again for Vermont. Trying to get the ball into the hands of Hurley. Conference Player of the Year, trying to get back to his 3rd NCAA tournament. Kick out long.
UMBC has gotten some quality looks in the last couple of possessions, but you have to see if you can read this as a chess match. Find where your advantages lie. Many times it's going to when Yalden's in these isolation situations defensively.
Tanchin with a mismatch, doubled, then tripled, and a jump ball. Arrow to UMBC. They will get it when we return. 44-37, Retrievers on top. I've already got bracket brain. Tomorrow, 6 Eastern on ESPN, we present Selection Sunday with SportsCenter. Reese and the guys will look at the men's field of 68, followed by the women's field of 68, reviewed at 8 p.m. Best time of year, these two teams battling for a spot in the field of 68. Vermont down 44-37. Their first road playoff game in the America East since 2016. Great defense by Marie, and it forces a shot clock violation.
A great decision by Vermont. They understand a short clock situation. They're converging in the low post with these double teams. They did it in the previous possession, which resulted in the tie-up. So if you're UMBC, you have to be careful about throwing the ball into the low post and not moving quickly.
Rarely over this stretch of the last 12 games has John Becker played TJ Long and TJ Hurley at the same time. They are both in right now. They both have championship experience for Vermont.
Well, they need to manufacture some offense. Two of your better offensive players, and that's what happens. You see Lucas Marie finally knocking down a three ball when Vermont needs it.
Just the sixth three of the game for Vermont. They are now up to 35%. They had just two in the first half, and then Marie doing it on both ends. Here's Barnett. Riley Jacobs went down, leaves Long wide open. Cash. And a timeout taken by Mike Ferry. 6-0 Vermont run, and it's back to a one-point game in Baltimore. Championship on the line, and they're playing like it at UMBC.
Well, Vermont decides to go with their two guards, the two TJs, and it creates a little bit more offense. At that time, TJ Long lines one up for deep. And the Vermont bench is loving it. A 6-0 run there makes this a one-point game.
They were 2 for 18 from downtown before those last two threes. They're now 4 for 20, still well below their season average. 34% three-point shooting team, but they're back in it with 10 minutes to go. Stagnant offense out of the Mike Ferry timeout for UMBC. Still 10 to shoot. Valentine with the basketball. Sizing up Barnett. King trying to get free. Valentine hoists and missed it all. That's back-to-back shot clock violations forced by the Catamounts defense.
Well, John Becker made some switches defensively as far as his personnel is concerned. He's got a quicker lineup in, and they're able to move their feet, getting some stops. It's the little decisions that you'll make that can make a difference that has sparked this run for the Catamounts.
Still, UMBC's leading scorer, King, without a point. Meanwhile, the Catamounts have their first lead of the second half on a banker by Hurley.
And a spirited drive. A great job creating that move and the separation and the confidence to knock it off the glass.
Conference Player of the Year in double figures with 10. Here's King. Back out Diggs.
It's important for UMBC to get back in this game the way that they extended their lead. They're starting to settle for some three balls from the outside. Their defense was the reason for the difference.
Marie off the mark. Diggs back the other way, 3-on-2. Diggs step through and puts it in to stop an 8-0 Catamounts run.
And there it is. Caden Diggs going in the end. A defensive stop, gets the numbers offensively, and he's able to convert.
Hurley. Put back Marie, who has lived around the rim today on both ends of the floor for Vermont.
Well, he's done some really good things. He hit that three ball that really got things going for Vermont, and there he is on the offensive boards being impactful.
6 points, 8 boards for the Spaniard. And a whistle will go against Vermont.
Really good job by T.J. Hurley. He goes that crossover and rejects the ball screen, gets all the way to the basket. And then end to end after the defensive stop, Caden Diggs with the easy layup.
5 team fouls on Vermont. 2 more. UMBC will be shooting for the rest of the game as Hurley goes to the bench. Tension. Spins over the smaller long. Too heavy.
It's a little too much on that one. That's when, if you are tension, use your extension and finger roll that one off the glass.
Sean Blake. Boy, a dunk attempt was stuffed. Mike Ferry wanted a jump ball. Instead, Momo Kugwa with 2.
I do tend to agree with him. That's got to be something. UMBC looking a little out of sort offensively.
But Diggs takes it himself deep in the paint.
There's the luxury we talk about with Diggs. He has that long wingspan, and that quick bounce allows him to elevate over the top and shoot that at 6'7".
6th man of the year in the conference. Couple of buckets over this recent stretch. Stopped an 8-0 Vermont run. Back to a 1-point game, 7 minutes to go. Marie dumps it in. Hammer time! Noah Barnett with a 2-hand jam.
Well, Lucas Marie is starting to read this game well, and there he gets in the 2-man game, drops it off beautifully. Barnett.
Timeout, Mike Ferry. 3-point lead for the Catamounts.
This is turning out to be an outstanding championship game. Both teams trying to make all the moves down the stretch. It's Vermont on a surge.
America East Tournament Trophy waiting to be won by one of these 2 teams. UMBC, the top seed, Vermont, the 2. South Florida and Charlotte will kick us off at 3 Eastern on ESPN2 in the semifinal of the American Championship. And then Tulsa will take on Wichita State. Golden Hurricanes won a 3-overtime game yesterday against North Texas, erasing what was a 17-point deficit. Meanwhile, back here at UMBC, Jim Ferry calling a timeout after his team has seen a couple of shot clock violations. A Vermont run, Catamounts with a 3-point lead. 6:40 to go in Baltimore.
Both of these coaches have done a really good job after timeouts to find an advantage. There's a missed opportunity with a clean look for UMBC in that last possession. Now you're going to look for Vermont to slow down the pace of play. And they're playing from in front.
Armstrong for 3. Got it. He has been the star today for UMBC. A game-high 19 for the Division II transfer.
He was locked and loaded. And we talked about his shooting ability in the beginning of the game. He catches that ball with a decisive mentality, letting it fly.
Barnett kick out. Kugwa way long. Tension aboard. Chance for the Retrievers to regain the lead. Valentine took the bump. Counted in the foul. A chance at the end one for Ace Valentine.
Man, we talk about the physicality of Ace Valentine. There he is with that jab step. Takes on the contact in the paint and the strength as he's able to get that one to drop for a big-time bucket, going to the line for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
So young man from the area, highly recruited, had offers from multiple P5 programs. Big East was heavily recruiting Ace Valentine. Opted to come to this program, play for Jim Ferry. had an excellent freshman season. Last year, as a sophomore, a down year, in his words and in Jim Ferry's. They met Richard in the offseason, and Jim Ferry challenged Valentine, telling him you can be a star. We are seeing that in the championship game here. Meanwhile, Lucas Marie has hobbled over to the sideline. He is being tended to by the Vermont training staff. He got over there under his own power, and the officials are taking a look at the previous play.
They must be looking at some type of initiation to the head or neck area on that strong drive by Ace Valentine. A lot of contact. Maybe they might be considering that there might be something to upgrade. You can see when Valentine, he drives in there, he goes up top. I think it's not intentional contact. He was trying to go up for the shot. But nonetheless, we'll see what this officiating crew is able to sort out.
And again, anytime there's contact above the head and neck area, it's possible that it would trigger a review. Our officiating crew, Tim Smith, Vasily Malios, Mike Fleury, getting together on this.
I think in these situations, you know, there's going to be contact in the game.
After review, it is just a common foul on the floor. There's a play.
And for the flow of the game, UMBC starting to put together something that the crowd is getting into it. And now you've had the stoppage of time. But nonetheless, these two head coaches given the opportunity to see if they can give a little bit more instruction in the last 5 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the ball game, because every little decision at this point will be crucial for their NCAA tournament berth.
Valentine 7 for 7 from the stripe, has 13 points to go along with 4 assists and 3 boards. 3-point game, 5 minutes and change to go in Baltimore. And an offensive foul on Gus Yalden.
You could see that one coming. DJ Armstrong was spirited on that dribble handoff, and there he is. Here comes the screen. He hustles into it. Bam! Takes that contact right on the hip, and the sell job creates the offensive foul. It's a massive call as you now have Yalden taking a seat.
Third foul on Yalden, 7th on the team. UMBC in the bonus the rest of the way.
Now, as Yalden is such an impactful player on the offensive end, Vermont has found some success with him on the bench.
From way downtown, Armstrong. 9-0 UMBC run.
It's a possession, huge possession here for Vermont.
3 to go. Hurley hoists a 3 and hits. Come on! At the buzzer to stop a 9-0 run.
Conference Player of the Year, stepping up in the big moments on the road.
Valentine off the bounce. Walled off by Barnett. Trying to get around the big man. Tension. Baseline. Still plenty of time here. 8 to shoot. Armstrong at 3. Took the bump. No call. Biggs was fighting for the rebound. Instead, it's Skipper. Here comes TJ Long. Long fadeaway was blocked by Tension. 3 on 2. Bounce pass. Armstrong back out. Tension. 3. And a whistle, which was not heard by anybody in the arena because of how raucous this crowd has been.
You want to see two teams battling for an America East championship. It's the three balls down the stretch, and the Conference Player of the Year said, I can do it too. We got a ball game.
The UMBC Retrievers were the darlings of the Big Dance back in 2018, the first 16 seed ever to upset a 1 in March Madness. At the time, 16 seeds were 0-135 all time against the 1. That is the last time the Retrievers have made the Big Dance. On top by 3 over a Vermont team that has been many times before. In fact, they're seeking their 7th trip to the NCAA tournament under John Becker. 3 minutes to go in Baltimore. Sean Blake spinning in and out.
Really good move by Blake, just not able to find the bottom.
Inside tension, left hand hook won't go. Last touched by Vermont. Retriever basketball underneath, 20 to shoot.
Vermont's been going some switching defenses in these last possessions, and now you can see once again John Becker is going defense to offense, taking Yalden out of the game and bringing in Kugwa. Gives them a little bit more of a versatile offense where they can switch things when they go into screen roll action.
Armstrong, step back, counting on the foul! 4-point play opportunity! DJ Armstrong Jr. Whoa!
You talk about elite moves, that snatch back dribble gets him right in his shooting pocket, in the sweet lefty stroke. DJ Armstrong Jr. in his bag on a championship Saturday.
An unbelievable performance for the former Texas Permian Basin star. One of 5 Division II transfers that has authored one of the historic seasons in UMBC basketball history. Blake weaving to the cup, stops a mini Retriever run.
Really quick response right there by Blake. He missed that last layup when he had a clean look. Goes right back to the well with a nice individual move and a quick bucket for the Catamounts.
5-point game, 2 minutes to go. UMBC with 1 timeout in the bonus. Vermont with 3 timeouts. Armstrong, step back 3. Come on! From downtown! Yalden cannot respond. And Adunuo with the rebound. Pressure defense from Vermont results in a foul, and the Retrievers are going to the line.
DJ Armstrong Jr. Talk about top-notch scoring ability, the beautiful shooting stroke, and there he is, man, showing what he can do, taking over with massive buckets down the stretch for UMBC.
Two points shy of tying a season high. DJ Armstrong Jr. has been sensational. Josh Adunuo, one of just 4 returners from last year's team that won just 5 league games. The turnaround by UMBC has been nothing short of spectacular. And the Retrievers have their largest lead of the game with 1:29 to play. Johnson zip. Yalden, no good. Got his own miss. Blocked by tension. Secured by Valentine. And a whistle. Timeout was called by Jim Ferry. That's his final timeout. Zubin, they can smell it here in Baltimore.
No doubt, Matt, you guys are just about to wrap it up. The MEAC Championship is just about to start. Coming up just after the top of the hour over on ESPN, Vandy and Florida in the SEC semis. Big Ten getting underway at the top of the hour as well. Wall-to-wall hoops.
Cannot wait. We are punching a ticket for the first time today, but many more tickets will be punched later on, including on ESPN. A rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game between Houston and Arizona. Meanwhile, Duke will try to make it 3 championships in the last 4 years, taking on 2-seed Virginia.
It's been an amazing last couple of minutes for UMBC. To go along with the offense is the defensive tenacity, tension there with just enough extension to get that rejection to put a lid on it for this Vermont offense.
A packed arena in Baltimore. First time they have hosted a championship game since this arena was built in 2018. And they are 67 seconds away from the program's 3rd trip to the Big Dance. UMBC in the bonus, no timeouts left for the Retrievers. Valentine gets it into Odunuwo, and a whistle on the tag foul by Momo Kugwa.
Inbounding the ball is always at a premium in March. Really good job right there coming after the timeout to get something aligned, to get the ball inside. Odunuwo draws the foul going to the free throw line with a 10-point lead.
A career 60% shooter, but has shot at over 80% since league play began. One of the great stories for this UMBC team this year. And he knocks down the first. Jim Ferry has won everywhere he's been. Multiple Division II NCAA tournament appearances. Took LIU Brooklyn twice to the Big Dance. Has yet to do it here at UMBC. Now in his 5th season. Eyeing the clock with 1:05 to go.
He's been a winner at every stop. And this team, he has a roster that plays together as a team. They have a never quit spirit.
Long stops a 20-5 UMBC run over the last 5 minutes. It appears like John Becker may have called a timeout.
Might have been a clock malfunction as the clock let the clock run a little too long. They'll have to look to reset it.
And so Mike Fleury is over at the scorer's table, one of our 3 officials. Meanwhile, the 6th man of the year, Caden Diggs, walking off the court, holding his face. What is the key for Jim Ferry's UMBC Retrievers over these final 56.7 to secure a win and a trip to the Big Dance?
Well, you got a 10-point cushion, so you know that you have the lead on your side in time, but you still have to do a really good job of inbounding the ball, wanting to meet every single pass, and then when you get it, being strong to not let the ball be stolen from you. You know the full court press is coming. Now, fortunately for UMBC, Vermont is not a team that turns over teams well at the bottom of the American East when it comes to creating turnovers and steals. But you'll have to continue to try to play and keep the spacing and be confident when it comes to your passes and trying to catch it.
Caden Diggs not on the floor, apparently took an elbow to the mouth. So King comes back into the game, and a foul on Armstrong will send the UMBC star back to the free throw line.
We talked about this guard play of UMBC, none shining any brighter. And DJ Armstrong Jr. A phenomenal job, particularly down the stretch with a couple of back-breaking 3-point bombs
One of 5 Division II transfers this year that Jim Ferry brought in. We asked Coach Ferry, why did you go to the Division II level? And he said it was time for a change. We needed some players that we knew could play at this level, but wanted to come and prove it and play with a chip on their shoulder. Armstrong has been the epitome of that today.
His experience coaching for many years, he knows that they're good players on all levels. And he was able to do a really good job recruiting some winners and some competitors. And they've been able to come together all season long to put this thing together for UMBC. And they're 50.6 seconds left from being champions of the American East.
Sean Blake at the foul line for Vermont. And the free throw shooting woes continue for the Catamounts. Now 3 for 9 this afternoon. Vermont still has all 3 timeouts, and a foul will send Armstrong back to the line. Sitting on 31 points, which ties a season high. He has willed this team to an 11-point lead with 48.7 to go.
Well, this game has been all about what UMBC has done in the money time. This was a 3-point game with 2.5 minutes remaining. And DJ Armstrong Jr. started to create that separation on some beautiful individual moves to get some shots to extend this lead.
His dad, Darryl, a Hall of Famer at D2 Fayetteville State, longtime NBA veteran, has followed a similar path.
DJ talked about his experience of being around pros his entire life has made him ready for these moments. He's stepping up big.
The 3-point shot this afternoon has failed Vermont. Just 5 for 26. A lot of credit has to go to UMBC defensively. So many contested shots, particularly in the second half. And the Retriever faithful can start to taste it. This program has been on a historic run. 8-win improvement year over year in league play. 3rd largest year over year improvement in America East history. They have won a program record 11 straight games. Tying the 1999 team in the Northeast Conference. Johnson a 3. Off the mark. Rebound Armstrong. And the Retriever faithful coming to their feet. The historic season will continue for the UMBC Retrievers. Dancing on to March Madness for the 3rd time in program history. What a scene, Richard, at the peak. And for Vermont, some of their tremendous seniors, you think about guys like T.J. Long, T.J. Hurley. They've won championships. Their career will come to a close in another championship appearance for Vermont.
This Vermont team laid it all out there. Did a really good job of trying to execute their game plan, but not enough gas in the tank to finish it out in the final 3 minutes of the game. And that's where UMBC and head coach Jim Ferry were able to finish things off with an America East championship.
For the first time since 2018, UMBC is headed back to the big dance, riding a program best 12-game win streak. and doing it against a Vermont team that has been the standard in this league.
A phenomenal finish for UMBC, and a team that's playing with a lot of confidence with some talented players, and they'll be going dancing.
Jim Ferry wins his first America East playoff championship, and the Retrievers are going to the big dance. Ticket punched in Baltimore. For Richard Hendricks, Matt Schumacher saying so long. Many more tickets to be punched later today.